I am pleased to, for the last time, unfortunately, welcome CEO of Muskoka Algonquin Healthcare, Natalie Bubela. I'm having such trouble here, Natalie, saying goodbye that I can't even get the words out.
Hi, James.
Hi. You know what? It's a sad day. It's a bittersweet day. I'm always happy to welcome you on the show, Natalie, but also, as I mentioned, we are saying goodbye to you because the end of this year means the end of your career with Muskoka Algonquin Healthcare. And that's why we brought you on today, because we wanted to talk about your fantastic decade with this organization. So let's talk first of all about the biggest thing here, and you are going to be finishing up this year. Natalie, how are you feeling?
Well, it is bittersweet. You used that word already. Clearly, I'm going to really miss the people and I'm going to miss the work and contributing to healthcare. But I also know that it's time for me. It's time to retire and do some other things.
Natalie, we did have you on before when you announced your retirement from MAHC, but I want to kind of go through some of the stuff we did again, just to kind of reiterate the things that you've done with this organization for over a decade. Let's talk about your first time coming into Muskoka and learning a heck of a lot about what your job was and basically trying to take all this on.
Well, there definitely were some challenges for the organization. And one of the long-standing challenges, which we finally resolved, was the financial challenge that the hospital has been facing for over a decade. And there were other opportunities as well that I could see in the organization, like bringing on some additional services to promote better care in our community, et cetera. And so those were things that I was really energized about and wanted to contribute and fix. But I did that with a team of people. It wasn't just myself that would have been responsible or accountable for that. I really do want to thank the senior team, the board, and many, 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 many people who contributed to that success.
What was it like, Natalie, to come to Muskoka? I know that you had come from a bigger area and coming into Muskoka and starting with this career.
Well, it was different. I mean, historically, besides working in Toronto, where we had always gone on the weekend was to the town of Blue Mountains, or just outside of Collingwood, where we have a home. And so coming to Muskoka was brand new to me. And I've got to say, I fell in love with it right away. Our family love it here. We've been very fortunate to be able to have a home here and to enjoy all the fruits of Muskoka, hiking, the water, all those things. So and I have to say as well that as much as I came from a bigger center, I really enjoy a smaller venue where you really get to know the people and the community. And that's exactly what Muskoka had to offer to me and my family. And I've been really fortunate to have had this opportunity.
Under your leadership, Natalie, we've seen some pretty big changes in terms of how things are being run here in Muskoka. And we still have a lot happening with the two hospital site plan. Slowly moving forward. That was a big part. I think I would suggest that was a big part of your career, and maybe you can correct me on that. But it seems like overshadowing a lot of it was the discussion around trying to get new hospitals in. Would that be a correct assessment?
Yeah, I would say you're absolutely right, James. I think there's two areas that really were the major focus for me, and that was the financial part and absolutely the hospital redevelopment. It's been a long, long journey. We're 8 to 9 years into it right now. We're only at stage 1. That's been submitted. We've been waiting for an answer now for over 2 years to see whether we can move on to the next stage. And that is exceptionally important for Muskoka. And I think this pandemic has absolutely demonstrated the need for some new buildings, more space, negative pressure, all the things that go along with the pandemic. And again, I'm very proud of our staff. They've been able to provide exemplary care, even though the building didn't necessarily support that care being provided in a safe way in both of our sites. But yeah, that's definitely one of the major challenges for the organization.
Natalie, I've been doing a year in review with a lot of organizations and asking specific questions on that. And with you, I would like to do a career in review. And I'm going to ask some of the same questions. And one is, what is your biggest highlight of this career?
Wow. I guess my biggest highlight here would have been the exemplary status that we achieved through Accreditation Canada, because that really tells the whole story. When surveyors come in to do that accreditation survey, they're looking at everything. They're looking at operations, they're looking at quality, they're looking at safety, they're looking at financial, all those aspects. So to get the highest rating you can possibly achieve from Accreditation Canada, I think just solidified, what a good organization this is. So to me, that would be I think the major highlight that I've had.
And of course, alternatively, what would you say the biggest hurdle was that you had to overcome in this career?
There's been a few of them, but I think the one that I want to talk about would have been the financial. It was years of asking for financial support to really put the hospital on a good footing. When you're running two organizations, there is some structural deficits that result as a result of that, because you're running two organizations, you haven't got the same efficiencies that other larger organizations might have. And so over the last 2 years, we have done amazingly well. And again, I want to thank the board, our finance department, et cetera, for all the support that I've received. We were able to resolve our long-standing capital deficit in the organization. That was $7.7 million in funding we received. So we've wiped that capital deficit out now, and we're in good financial stead. We've had a couple of fantastic surpluses. So leaving the organization really in a good financial situation. So really happy about that. But it did take some real concerted effort and lobbying in order to get that recognized as a need and to finally get it resolved.
And the question I'm also asking, which is a little bit different for you because you're going to have a different view of things. What are you looking forward to in 2022 in retirement, basically?
Well, I'm looking forward to some sleep, some rest. I do need to chill a little bit. I think I'm not the only one. There are many people that have been involved in all walks of life, not just in healthcare, are tired of this pandemic. So I am looking forward to being able to rest, maybe have a little bit more balance in my life, to travel. I hope that works out, to golf and do all the things that I love with my family. I think I've not being as much there for my family as I might have been if we were living in the same city. And so I'm looking forward to family time.
Just quickly, we've heard that the new CEO has been selected for MAHC, and I just wanted to hear your thoughts on her, and any obvious sort of words of wisdom too to guide her through her career in your position now.
So just a slight correction there, James. The Vicky Kaminsky that's coming in is actually in an interim role.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
So she's
yeah,
temporarily taking over for you.
Yeah, temporarily taking over for me. And I've met with Vicky. I have absolute confidence in Vicky. She's a woman with lots of experience in healthcare and in administration. I think you'll be really impressed if you were to look through her resume. And I would say that the organization is in great hands until the board is able to secure the permanent president and CEO.
Fantastic. Natalie, I just want to say again, a huge debt of gratitude to you from this community because, under your leadership, this has really righted the ship, and you've touched down on the financials quite a bit, and I think you were right to do so because it really has gotten better. I think a lot of people that are in these positions, they want to leave the job knowing that they have somehow improved things, and I think definitely you can look back and say that with this career. So thank you very much for the amount of hard work and effort that you've put into this job.
Yeah, and thank you. You've always been great, James, you and YourTV, in terms of having me on and being able to explain things and educate the community, and sincerely appreciate that support over the years. But I do want to say two major thank yous before I leave. And one is absolutely to our hospital staff, our foundations and our auxiliary. They've just been absolutely amazing to support the organization. And I also want to thank our community. There's been great feedback, sometimes it's been constructive over the years, but together as a community, we've been able to really realize some very positive change for healthcare here in Muskoka. And I'm really grateful for that, and the opportunity and the privilege to have been here for the 10 plus years that I've been here. So thank you.
Thank you, and we wish great thing for you. I'm sure this is not the last we're going to see of you in this community.
Nope.
I expect we'll see you in quite a few committees and other organizations in the community. But thank you again, and I appreciate you taking the time today.
You're welcome. Thank you.